my guest is Phylis Schafly, and that's Eagle Forum, www.eagleforum.org. And Phyllis is just getting ready to inform us on Libya. Phyllis, I mean, to see the press, here's John McCain over in Libya shaking hands with the rebels, the ones that murdered Gaddafi and assassinated him and killed him in a kind of a gruesome way. They didn't just shoot him. And McCain shaking hands with Al Qaeda there, and the first thing Al Qaeda did was start a bank. Give me the story on Libya.
Well, this doesn't tell you the whole story of Libya, but it's one little sidelight that I think is significant, because my position is that the people who we're replacing these dictators with, there's no evidence that they're better than the guys we're kicking out and killing. But at any rate, Gaddafi, with all of his sins, and he had plenty of them, he abolished polygamy, which is a main tenet of the Muslim so-called religion. All right, and the way he did it was a very clever way. The guy understands human nature, or understood human nature. He said you couldn't get more wives unless you got the consent of your first wife. I think that's pretty funny, because first wives were not giving their consent to more wives. Okay, now they killed Gaddafi, got rid of him, and put the new regime in. And the new regime said, oh, we're going to be true to the Quran. We're going back to exactly what is allowed in the Quran, and it does allow polygamy, so now we're going to have polygamy. So I ask you, where is Hillary Clinton to defend the women when we need her? You gotta have a little laugh every now and then.
Yeah, and who killed Miss Foster anyway?
Right. Now listen, I'm going to have to go shortly because I've got another appointment, but it's sure been fun visiting with you. Where are you located? I'm located in Tucson right now. In Tucson? Yes, okay, ma'am. So I just had an event here for Sheriff Devers. I feel like we really have to support our sheriff. Sheriff Richard Mack is trying to organize a convention of sheriffs, and the sheriffs have the power to overrule the feds and stand up for our Constitution, and if they're loyal to their oath. Well, the sheriffs are good people. We need them. And you know, you really illustrate. I have never urged violence in any form or shape, and I'm certainly not pro-war. I think it's in the '60s as part of the deja vu. You know, at least we saw we stopped a war there. And where's the anti-war people today? I don't know. And where are the people, where are these feminists who want to defend women's rights? The women don't have any rights in these Muslim countries. And they're trying to get Sharia law here. All right, Phyllis. Great to talk to you, and maybe we'll talk again sometime. And I'm sorry I've got to move on. That's all right, dear. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being on my show. God bless you, and have a good day. God bless you. Bye-bye. Bye. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. I will take calls now. If you want to call in, Phyllis, well, she's done good work. She's done good work, but nobody seems to want to deal with what I consider the real issue. The banks. Oops. Let me see here. All right. What do we got here? Got any callers? Yeah. Hello, Ann. Hello, is this Ann? Yes, it is.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, dear. How are you?
Good. Fine, thank you.
it was nice to hear Phyllis Schafly, and I had one comment about well, maybe a couple, but one on, I just found out that Prozac, a pharmaceutical for, I guess, anxiety or something or other, mental conditions, is 82% fluoride. Now, the Nazis used fluoride in the water to tame down their prisoners in the prison camps. And what it does, it actually destroys a part of the brain that helps you defend yourself against threats.
And just as a little aside here, the cost of 100 tablets or capsules of Prozac, those sell for $247.47. The cost of manufacturing the active ingredient is 11 cents. That's a 224,973% markup.
Yes, and fluoride is a toxic waste. Came out of smokestacks from a plant in Florida. I don't remember what they were manufacturing, but it was
aluminum. They make aluminum to put into chemtrails to spray on your food. Again, you got so much aluminum up on Mount Rainier and Mount Shasta that they put warning signs up: "Don't eat the snow."
Wow, I didn't know that.
And Monsanto is working on a genetically modified crop that's resistant to aluminum because it already has the aluminum in it.
Oh dear. Well, Europe won't let us put the frankenfoods, they call them frankenfoods, won't let us market them in Europe. The European Union won't let them. They don't want the frankenfoods.
We should be doing that here. I mean, to me, it's just amazing that people don't understand. The whole idea behind Liberty Villagers is being able to control your own food. And Lady K on my chat room here, she lives in Canada and she's got a greenhouse. She's growing her own food. We could do that if we weren't so damn lazy and brain dead. We ought to be organizing our neighborhoods now. Right now, and putting solar on the roof. Just how can you be independent? How can you be free? In your own neighborhood, in your own home. It's just a matter of preparing. But
that's right.
We're so distracted, and they don't want us working together. They are afraid to have us work together. When I ran the ad for Liberty Villagers, grow your own food, generate your own energy, then you don't need the government and the banks for nothing. If you got 10 people living on 5 acres and you're working together to make that 5 acres productive, open up a restaurant, grow food, sell, if nothing else, a fruit stand, a vegetable stand.
Yeah. I don't know how a person would organize. Well, I get the magazine Backyard Poultry, and this current edition is for the January this year and December this year and January next year. They come out every 6 months. Every 2 months. Has an article in it about how to make sure your backyard poultry is legal in your community, and they have good how-to things like that in Backyard Poultry magazine.
Yeah, Papa Bear says on the chat room, I'm sorry everyone, but I find it hard to believe the banks are going to hand over the country's money without a fight. They won't. And folks, what we're going to, the problem is, as I've always put it, how do you fight evil without becoming evil?
Good question.
And if you want to go out and kill all the blacks, kill all the Mexicans, kill all the Jews, kill all the You know, you're doing the same thing that they did to the Christians. You're killing the Christians. You know, you become just as evil as the people, and that's what Phyllis said. You know, and the point I'm trying to make about our elections here is that if you don't know who to vote for, if you don't know, and if nobody that is standing up for the Constitution is allowed to get on television, is allowed to get on the radio, is allowed to get in the newspapers, like me, then you know you're already into slavery, and then we become the rebels. We're not the rebels. I'm not the rebel. I'm pro-government. I'm pro-Constitution. I'm pro Declaration of Independence. So Liberty Villages would have three documents on the wall: the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, and our library even has free copies of the Constitution in it for anybody that wants them, which is good. I had something, I think it's a quote from Einstein. He says, "You cannot solve a problem with the same consciousness as that which caused it."
Well, that's like asking the BATF to investigate itself, asking the FBI to investigate the BATF, asking the BATF to, you know, or the FBI to investigate the CIA.
Yeah. I heard on the radio, News Talk Radio, KRMG this morning, about a child in Ohio being taken out of the home because he was 8 years old and he was 200 pounds, and they accused the mother of neglecting to control his food and so on. And you know what? There was something else. In another school, there was a little girl kissed a boy, and they called in the police, and the FBI is in there investigating this thing. What in the heck are they doing there for that?
Killing any expression of love. You know, it's love is your level of vibrational energy. They don't want you holding hands. They don't want you communicating. This is socialization. What's good for it's what's good for the individual. That's true freedom. And that's what I've been writing about for 40 years, and that's probably why I'm not famous right now.
Well, yeah, in a way you are.
I think I might have achieved. I think I might have achieved infamous, but I'm not sure I've reached famous yet. I'm pretty sure I got infamous nailed.
every new idea at first is ridiculed and they try to laugh it down. Same thing with when they used to believe the earth was flat, and when somebody come up with the earth is round. And they laughed at the round earth idea, and scorned and ridiculed it. So you're in a big league. They just don't know it.
Well, I am because, you know, I think the information I put out in the Free American, because at one time I was reaching thousands of people. And that's why they tried to kill me. That's why they tried to silence me. That's why they tried to drug me. That's why they tried to feed me pharmaceuticals for a year and a half.
Well, what you mentioned about the love now, let's go it this way. Death has no vibration. Apathy, grief, fear, anger, pride, those have different levels of vibration or frequency. The higher the frequency, the more power it has over the low frequencies. And love is the highest. And the highest frequency has power over the others. Now that's a clue as to how to deal with these people. Now I don't know how to affect it myself. I haven't researched enough to know how to bring it to pass. You know what I mean? How to get people to enter in. But you see, human love is I'll love you if you do this or that, or if you this or that to me. But unconditional love is I love you. Just like you are. You're just fine. And when you can get to that point, you are in power over the other emotions and the other attitudes.
Well, I got to tell you, that's probably my biggest hang-up, because I don't even like many people. And the more again, the story I'm working on is called Deja Vu. You know, in the '60s we tried the whole love thing, and that went pretty well for a while. That went pretty well
Yeah,
for a
it
while. And
did.
then they tried to make it into something dirty. Well, it means sex. Well, you know, we've been having sex for a few 100,000 years, so I don't think that's going to change. You know, and I'm certainly not in agreement with any religion that wants to make that a bad thing.
Yeah. But genuine love has empathy and consideration of others. It is not selfish, just primarily selfish.
I have given up, and I have given up a life of normalcy because I refused to sit back and watch something like Waco happen again. I told my wife at the time, and I was married for 24 years, I will not sit back and watch something like that happen again. And that's why I started the militia. That's why I started the Free American. Because I felt the thing that we needed was to be able to educate people, to tell people, you know, Roosevelt wasn't a good guy. He was partners with Stalin and Churchill. I mean, Germany wanted to stop the war. So, but what, you're a Hitler? Oh, you like Hitler? I think he did wonders for the German people. I think he did wonders for the colony, for the economy. And I know that it's a historical fact that the New York Times ran a full-page ad declaring war on the German people, not Hitler, the German people. And as the leader of Germany, what was Hitler supposed to do? Just sacrifice the people the way Stalin did? You know, the way that Eisenhower did what Eisenhower did to the Germans. He left 1 million of them starving prison camps.
Yeah.
And if you know, it's like, no, I don't think all Jews are bad. I don't think all. I know. You know, Aaron Russo. I've had Dr. Henry McCow has been on my show before. You know, I think there's a lot of good. Gordon Duff from Veterans Today. You know, he snipes a lot and argues a lot with John Kaminsky. But I happen to like both of them. And in this fight against totalitarianism, I'd like to have a you know, a black guy, a white guy, a Mexican, and he's a Jew. You know, I think we all ought to be uniting for our individual rights. So the Constitution says you can worship any way you please. So you want to go bang your head against that Wayland Wall, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You know, I'll watch you. I'll hand you a Band-Aid. How's that? You know?
I got a couple of things to say.
Okay.
First, the Rothschilds own 80% of the land in Israel.
Yes. We bought it fair and square. We bought it fair and square.
Judaism, Jews are not the enemy. Neither are the bankers. It's the ideology of Judaism. That they're a chosen people of God Almighty, and they're supposed to rule over everyone else. That's their ideology. I think
us white folks are the chosen ones. I think we were the Israelites. I think we walked across the Caucasus Mountains to get out of slavery in Syria, and we've got as much right to call ourselves the chosen ones as they do. But it's used against us. It's used against us, and you know, when they were in charge of the communism, and the Russians referred to communism as Judaism for the masses, and it was the Jews that were in charge of the concentration camps. It was the Rothschilds that owned the bank and were funding Hitler. That, you know, George Bush's daddy, Prescott Bush, helped a lot too.
Yes.
Well, that's history. And what today? What's our history tell us? McCarthyism. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing.
Yeah. No. McCarthy was maligned, much maligned. One of the things that you mentioned about the Jews, the Israelites traveling out of Judea and out of that region, some of them went east, and they wound up in Japan. That's where the samurai warriors came from. The Sumerians. The samurai name came from the Sumerians the white Israelites that came to there. You'll notice, if you ever notice, there's a difference between the samurais and the regular Japanese.
Taller, stronger.
Yeah. See, that's a fact of history. that not many people know. I don't have the reference papers right here, right now in front of me. I studied it some time ago. But you can
well,
look it up.
The white people have gone out and built civilizations. We've spread the Bible and the Word all over the world. And what I'm proposing is right out of the Bible, come out of her. Mystery Babylon, Jesus ran the money changers out of the temple. The money changers are still with us. They just call the temple the Federal Reserve Bank of India, England, the city of London, or the Vatican.
Yeah, you know, recently when Bank of America announced that they were going to charge $5 for every purchase transaction from debit cards after the first of the year,
yeah,
a huge number of people removed their money from and their accounts from Bank of America, and so they backed off on that change. See, so
that's the point. I mean, if right now you are dependent on your electric company. Invest a little bit of money to learn how to build. $200 you can build a solar unit. It'll charge your batteries, you know, and you've got an inverter. I mean, I had it on my boats. Come on, guys, I had it on my boats. You know, or you go out to go out and sailboat and look up on the mast on these sailboats and all that. They got wind generators, you know, charging their batteries. They're running off for 12 volts. And you know, why can't we do that at home? Oh, the neighborhood association wouldn't like it. You know, the enemy that we've got, the problem we got right now is, oh, I don't like Clay Douglas because he smokes pot. Oh, Clay Douglas, well, you know, he's a racist. Oh, Clay Douglas says, you know, it's like all you hear all these people. This is why, folks, 18 veterans a day commit suicide. They come back here and you've been programmed. You're calling them baby killers like you did us in Vietnam. You know, you're trying to put the veteran and there's nowhere to turn for help. There's nowhere to turn for support. You're on the streets.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had an idea some time ago about, you know, having campgrounds for people that were homeless.
It's called Liberty Villages, dear.
Oh, well, yeah. See, I realize that now, and I still believe in that, and I would like. I'm working on finding a way to get that financed. I'm working on it. I don't say I have achieved it yet, but I'm working on it.
I had it all financed the day we signed the papers, and I got the money. They kicked me out of my own property because, and we were supposed to do that. I was going to put all that money into teepees, yurts, whatever. And so were the people that were supposed to be helping, the woman that was supposed to be helping me, was that stupidity on her part, or was she sent in to get that property to stop the Liberty Villages from happening? They're scared of the Liberty Villages.
Probably she was sent in. She was a ringer.
Well, it really suddenly you really get the feeling, and again, I just went through this. I mean, I just went through this. I set up this whole event for Sheriff Deaver. Then Sheriff Deaver tells me he don't have any contractual relationship, so there's no way to tell where the money's going, and then suddenly they didn't need me anymore. So it's hard to figure percentages if you don't know what the take was.
Yeah. Well, I would. I remember you told me about another name that you used, and maybe that would be the one to write some things under.
Well, you know, that goes through my head a lot. Yes, I could write under another name. Yes, I'm a good writer, and yeah, Clay Douglas has got, you know, a lot attached to it, a lot of baggage attached to it. But that's the baggage that's attached. I haven't done anything I'm not proud of. I did the Free American, I've done the radio show, I've done the Free American Hour for 25 years. Liberty Villages, everything I planned has worked. Everything I said 10 years ago is going on now, and now you're starting to see it on mainstream. And
Yeah.
You know, and the books I wrote, the Mystery Babylon, it tells you exactly what the banksters did. It tells you exactly how they work. It also tells you about Homeland Security. Homeland Security is tied in. I mean, this is an agency of the banksters. They're protecting the banks. They're not protecting the people. And as Ayn Rand has told you, and I've told you and echoed that, the government has no control over honest citizens, so they have to make criminals out of us. Oh, you're a militia guy. You started the militias. Yeah, I did, but I did it in the governor's office. I did it according to the Constitution. Everything I've said, I'm not anti-government at all. But I'm being put in the class of a rebel. I'm being put into the same class as Al-Qaeda in Libya, you know, except since the government and since the banksters aren't backing me, I'm not going to get any financial support.
I know that there is something going on quietly in all the state legislatures, and it started in Missouri, and it's called the Republic of Missouri, and taking back their authority over their territory that they have not ceded, C-E-D-E-D, to the federal government. And I believe if you look up the Republic of Missouri, you may find some information on it. The states, see, the Homeland Security overruns the states' rights, and we know that, like the driver's license thing. So now the driver's license is under the Homeland Security since January 2008, and it's in essence a national ID. See, but I think that would be a way to go. Would be research that Republic of Missouri.
Well, you know, even Texas has the right to secede. We, under the Constitution, the states, you know, the rights are reserved to the people and the states. So we're not the rebels here. We're not the rebels. We're actually but the politicians and the way the banks have funded the politicians, they price the politicians out of our range. And there is a way to do this, folks, if we work together. If every one of you listening out there, you know, call in, send in $10 and or $20 or $100 and a donation, I would have a Liberty Villages put up and started up, and in every business broker out there, because this is a way if 10 families come together to form a cooperative farm. We can grow our own foods, we can sell it, we can show people how to live in a different way, you know, and get away from this whole Hollywood image of Miami Vice, you know, and the fast cars and Hawaii, you know. Everybody wants to be like Magnum, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a change of consciousness, and I think that's what we're coming into. People are starting to realize on the streets now. If you go out and protest, folks, you're going to get cut down by the cops. They want you rioting in the streets. They want to make things bad enough that you're going to riot in the streets, so they got a reason to make a criminal out of you. Now, how many of you out there on the Occupy movement are now criminals? How many of you got a record? How many of you are in the courts? Did you get anywhere? No, you put yourself deeper. Yeah.
In the Constitution, the federal government is supposed to protect the nation against invasion or insurrection. And some of these rioting, if it gets too great a volume of people, it will be called insurrection, and they'll have troops out to suppress it.
Well, that's the idea. I mean, this is why the whole idea of Liberty Villages, when I did it, I was going to buy a town. I raised $250,000 to buy the town.
Yeah,
and
somebody bought it.
And the government overbid me by $3 million. And
what department of the government?
The governor, Bill Richardson, got on television after I had been talking about Phylis, New Mexico, the Phelps Dodge town with the swimming pool, with the bowling alley, with the gas station, and 250 homes. They wanted to sell it, and I wanted to buy it. I sent a cameraman down to